Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our vocabulary building series. If you're preparing for an English proficiency test, this series will be very useful. As usual, Dr. Burns, English proficiency expert, will guide us to become vocabulary buffs.
You know, one of the fastest ways to build your vocabulary is to learn roots, prefixes, and suffixes. If you know them, you can easily decode word meanings, and remember, it's a real shortcut to increasing your vocabulary, especially when preparing for exams like the TOEFL or GRE. So, we will cover major roots from A to Z. Today, we'll focus on the first 5 important roots and words derived from them: ac, ag, acro, air, and agon. To quickly explain, ac means sharp, ag relates to drive, acro means top, air means air, and agon means struggle. Let's examine important words made from these origins one by one. We will cover about 50 high-level words with roots in these origins.
Sounds great. Let's begin. Let's start with ac.
Ac, acu, bitter, sharp. Acrid, having unpleasant taste or smell. Acumen, the ability to make good judgments and quick decisions. Acute, severe, intense. Sharp-witted, stabbing.
Ache means bitter or sharp. We can find the roots in words like acrid, acumen, and acute.
Dr. Burns, why do some words use ac and others acu?
Great observation. Both actually come from the same Latin family. The Latin verb acuere means to sharpen, and the noun acus means needle. Over time, English borrowed different forms. Some words dropped the u and kept just ac, like acid or acrid. Others kept the u, like acupuncture, acute, or acumen.
So, really, ac and acu are just variations of the same sharp root.
Exactly. The meaning is always about sharpness, whether in taste, in pain, or in the mind.
Could you give us some examples?
Sure. Take acrid. It's ac, sharp, plus id, having the quality of. So, acrid means having a sharp or bitter taste or smell.
And acumen?
That comes from acu, sharp, plus men, mind. So it means sharpness of mind, the ability to make quick, good judgments.
What about acute?
That's acu, sharp, plus te. It means sharp or intense, like acute pain or an acute mind.
Could you walk us through a few more words that come from this sharp root?
Absolutely. Acerbic, sharp and forthright in tone or temper. Example, the critic's acerbic comments left the audience unsettled. Acrimonious, full of bitterness or sharpness in speech or behavior. Example, the debate became increasingly acrimonious as tempers flared.
That's clear. But aren't there also words that begin with ac that don't have anything to do with sharp?
Excellent point. Yes, sometimes ac is not from the sharp root at all, but from the Latin prefix ad, meaning to or toward. For ease of pronunciation, ad changes to ac before s consonants. That's why we see words like accept, to receive or agree to something. Accede, to agree or give consent, often formally. Accentuate, to emphasize or make more noticeable. Acclimate or acclimatize, to adapt to a new climate or environment.
So sometimes ac signals sharpness, and sometimes it's just a variation of ad meaning to.
Exactly. The fun and the challenge of English vocabulary is figuring out which root is at play.
Ag, act, to do. Agent, a person who acts on behalf of another person. Counteract, To act against, prevent, thwart.
Next, we have the roots ag and act. Dr. Burns, why do we see two different spellings, ag and act?
Excellent question. Both come from the Latin verb agere, which means to do or to drive.
So why do we get two forms?
In Latin, verbs had different stems. The present stem is ag, which is where words like agent come from, a person who does something, or agile, describing someone who moves quickly.
And what about act?
That comes from the past participle form actus, meaning done. The S ending was added to ag, but because GT is awkward to pronounce, it shifted to CT. That's why we see act in words like react or activate.
So ag and act both relate to the idea of doing or acting.
Exactly. For example, agent is ag plus ent, one who, meaning one who acts on behalf of another.
And words like counteract.
That's counter, against, plus act, to do. It means to act against or neutralize.
There must be many words with these roots. Could you highlight some notable ones?
Certainly. Let's look at some common words with the root ag or act, all meaning to do or to drive. Activate, to make something active or operative. React, to respond to something. Interact, to act together. Counteract, to act against, to reduce an effect. Agent, a person who acts on behalf of another. Agile, able to move quickly and easily. Agitate, to stir up or disturb. Agency, an organization that acts for others. Agility, the ability to move quickly and easily.
Is there any other spelling variation for ag? Like many other languages, English tends to change root spelling words to make it easy to pronounce.
Good observation. The root ig is actually a variant of ag, changed for phonetic reasons to make words easier to pronounce. Consider saying navigate, much awkward to say than navigate.
Can you give examples?
Sure. Navigate, to direct or move through an area, from Latin navis, ship, plus agere, to drive. Example sentence, they decided to navigate the dispute in court. Litigate, to carry on a lawsuit, from Latin lis, lawsuit, plus agere, to drive. Example sentence, they decided to litigate the dispute in court. Castigate, to criticize or punish severely, from Latin castus, pure, plus agere, to do. Example sentence, the coach castigated the player for missing practice. Exigent, urgently demanding attention or action, from Latin exere, to drive out or demand, ex, out, plus agere, to drive. Example sentence, the firefighters responded to an exigent call for help.
So ager has had a huge influence on English vocabulary. By the way, do other words that begin with ag, like agony or agriculture, also come from the same ag root?
No, they don't. Those words come from different roots altogether, and we'll examine them shortly.
Acro. Top, height, tip, beginning. Acrobat. A high walker. Acronym. A word formed from the first letters of a word. Acrophobia. Fear of heights.
Now let's look at the root acro. It comes from the Greek word acros, meaning topmost or at the tip. Think about an acrobat, literally a high walker. The bat part comes from the Greek banion, which means to walk. So every time you see acro, think of something at the top, the tip, or a beginning.
Oh, like acronym.
Exactly. Acronym combines acro, tip, beginning, plus nym, name. It's a name formed from the first letters or tips of words, like NASA or NATO.
And acrophobia.
That's acro, height, plus phobia. It literally means fear of heights.
Great.
Air, arrow. Air. Aerate, to let air reach something. Aerial, relating to the air. Aerospace, field concerned with flight in air and outer space.
Now, what about air or arrow? I've seen both forms.
Both come from the Greek air, meaning air. The longer form arrow uses when it connects to other roots like in aerospace, air plus space. The shorter form air works on its own like in aerial.
So the O is just a connector.
Exactly. Greek often used an O to link roots together. For example, aerate equals air, air plus ate, to make, to let air into something. Aerial is air plus al, to relate to the air. And aerospace? That's aero plus space, the field that deals with air and outer space travel.
Fascinating. And the next root is agon, right?
Yes,
Agon, struggle. Agony, extreme pain. Protagonist, the leading character in a drama.
agon means struggle, contest, or conflict. Take agony. It's agon plus I, to a state of struggle or pain.
And a protagonist?
That's proto, first, plus agon plus ist, to the first struggler. In a story, it's the main character who drives the action.
So an antagonist would be...
Anti, against, plus agon, one who struggles against the protagonist. Simply put, an opponent.
I remember a TOEFL lecture about agonistic behavior. When two animals of the same species compete for food or mates, they often resolve the conflict without fighting. Does that word also come from agon?
Exactly. Agonistic behavior comes from agon, emphasizing struggle, conflict, or competition.
Wow, now I can see why knowing root words is so powerful. I can guess meanings in TOEFL passages much more easily.
Here are some more words built from the root agon, which all center on the idea of struggle or conflict. For example, agonize means to suffer or struggle greatly, especially mentally or emotionally. Antagonistic describes someone showing or feeling opposition or hostility. Antagonize means to provoke someone to hostility or act as their opponent. Agonist refers to anything characterized by struggle or conflict.
Are words like hexagon also from the agon root?
That's a great question. No, even though agon appears in the spelling, it's just a coincidence. The word hexagon does not come from the Greek word agon, meaning struggle or contest. Instead, hexagon comes from two different Greek roots. Hex, meaning six, gon, from gonia, meaning angle or corner. So a hexagon is literally a six-angled shape. The same gon appears in other shapes: pentagon, 5 angles, octagon, 8 angles, and so on.
That's good to know.
That's a wrap for today. Next time, we'll tackle another 5 roots: agar, farming; alg, pain; alum, nourishment; alto, different; and alto, high.
Thank you, Dr. Burns.